Welcome back. The Trump administration, as you no doubt have noticed, continues its fight to keep Kilmar Abrego Garcia off American soil and in El Salvador. President repeatedly claiming that tattoos on his knuckles, that's the president's term, suggest he's a member of a gang called MS-13. Despite that claim, the only actual tie in court on any piece of paper between Abrego Garcia, who lives in Maryland, and that gang is a now defunct local police registry, which was questioned for years amid accusations of racial profiling. This is how we got here in the Kilmar Abrego Garcia story, and I want to bring in Vanessa Cárdenas. She's executive director of America's Voice, which advocates for undocumented immigrants and immigration reform. Vanessa, let's just talk about how, again, that phrase I used, how did we get here? Kilmar Abrego Garcia in 2019 was outside a Home Depot, and some police approached, pick up the thing from there, and talk to my audience about this registry or this database that put him in it and what it said or alleged about him.
Yeah. Listen, this is, I think, a really important point. That registry was rife with errors, and there have been, in fact, that registry was ended because of racial profiling issues. And the community, especially in Maryland, were really against it because they were racially profiling young Black and brown young people. So this whole issue with Mr. Abrego Garcia starts with that piece of paper where he allegedly was or is a member of a gang. But I really want to drive the point here that this is a bigger case than just Mr. Garcia. This case is about whether our government has the power to take someone off the street, send them to a prison in another country by mistake, abandon them there, and even to refuse to do what the Supreme Court asked them to do, which is to bring him back. So I think fundamentally, this raises the alarm for every American that cares about due process and their safety and security in our country.
Right, because there's a piece of paper that was filled out by a detective with the Prince George's County authorities saying that because he had a hat on and some clothes that he thought was part of, quote, Latino or Hispanic gang culture, he should be thought of as a member of MS-13. That's the only thing in court that's ever been put forward, then or now. And that was adjudicated and looked at even by a Trump-appointed judge in 2019, who then put a non-removal order because after lots of questioning and representation on Kilmar Abrego Garcia's part by attorneys, it was discovered by that Trump-appointed attorney that there was a reasonable fear that if he went back to El Salvador on his own recognizance, meaning deported back there, he might reasonably fear being abused or somehow intimidated or threatened by a gang that tried to recruit him when he lived in El Salvador. But that piece of paper has had no backing up since then by the detectives or the authorities from which it came. Do I have that right?
You have all the facts right. It was a form that was never vetted. The police officer that filled it out was dismissed for other issues that he had. There is no more evidence at all that Mr. Abrego Garcia was, in fact, a member of a gang. There's no evidence. It was just only allegations. And the point that you just mentioned also is really important. This was in 2019, and a Trump-appointed judge reviewed all the evidence, and that judge also gave Mr. Abrego Garcia a work permit and said that he should stay in our country and be allowed to work because of the danger Mr. Abrego Garcia would face if he was deported to El Salvador. So it was during the Trump administration that Mr. Abrego Garcia got his work permit and was vetted by a judge to be in the United States. And again, there's no evidence that this Trump administration now has produced to really show that Mr. Garcia is, as what they say, a gang member.
And twice, once in 2019 and most recently when he was held in detention and said, you will be let go if you give us information about other gang members you know. Both times, as I understand it, Kilmar Abrego Garcia said nothing, even though if he had said something, it might have expedited his release because he said he didn't know anything about gang members.
That's right. And Mr. Abrego Garcia is a member of the community. He has a U.S. spouse, U.S. kids. He has a job. He has not been involved with the law in that time. It is really, I think, really important to understand that this has, again, implications for all of us, and especially this government. They admitted that they have made a mistake when they sent him to El Salvador. And I think the right course of action here is to bring him back because, again, there's no real proof that he was ever a member of a gang or had any criminal records.
And it has been established he entered the country illegally, and if he's brought back and there's a process by which he's deported through that, most people would say at least the due process played out and played its course. Vanessa Cárdenas, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it.